Instagram has some major changes on their platform. And is there a brand new leak of the new iPhone? All this and coming up more on Nez Nation Live. It's that time, y'all. Come on back. Welcome, one and all, Nez Nation. It is so good to see you. Welcome to Nez Nation Live. This is our segment where we talk about the latest and greatest in social media and tech news, and you know what to do before you jump on in. You got to smash the smash button. You got to hit that like button. We're going to be talking about some very interesting updates. You guys know how much I love doing this segment to the show. And if you're new to the Nez Nation channel, if you're new to me, Professor Nez, I'm a personal branding coach, consultant. I run an agency. I'm a business communications professor. I'm also somebody who is a business owner. And every single week at 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern, we do our live stream talk show. We talk about everything about how you can create a compelling message in this online space to elevate your career or grow your business. We're helping you to discover your purpose, communicate your message so that you can impact your audience. It doesn't mean anything if you don't know how to communicate it. You could be sitting on a pot of gold, but if nobody knows about it, there is no luster, there is no shine. So that's why I love doing this, and this is what our channel is all about. And this is a segment that we like to do on occasion. We don't do it all the time. You know, we have got plenty of training sessions, audio masterclasses, live masterclasses. You can check out all the playlists on our YouTube channel over at professornez.com/live streams. But this is a segment that I like to kind of engage in from time to time where, because I have so much fun talking to you guys about this, about what's happening in social media, what's happening in tech. It seems like every other week, every other day, sometimes by the hour, there seems to be new updates, new changes, new releases, new innovations. It's almost impossible to keep up. Well, this can be your one-stop hub. This could be your headquarters. This is where you could come and get everything in just one place. Everything right here on Nez Nation Live. So good to see you guys. Brad Friedman in the house. Hybrid Steel. Haven't seen you in a while. Good to see you, Mike. Good to see Flash fam in the house. Super Dave is here. I am absolutely loving it. Let's see if I can pull these guys up. See what it looks like. There's Brad. How you doing? Good to see you, Super Dave. Great to see you, Flash. And one of my favorite mods, my mod extraordinaire, Mr. Hybrid Steel. I got to fix my do here. If you're listening on the podcast, we really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much for being here. As always, before we start the show, we like to jump into our sponsor. And our sponsor, as always, is BeyondTheBoxAcademy.com. This is the ultimate training. We're live, y'all. There's no edit button. This is the ultimate training. I swear to God, I'm sober. This is the ultimate training academy online where you can learn all the latest and greatest on how to build your online reputation, how to grow on certain platforms, how to get your message out there, how to elevate your career and grow your business, go to beyondtheboxacademy.com and enroll. Enrollment's free. We've got a lot of courses. I'll leave some links in the description in the show notes so you can get some codes, some coupon codes. You got to go check it out if you're curious at all. We got a personal branding masterclass in there that is absolutely in fuego, on fire, helping you to chart your course in this online space. So welcome to the show. It is so good to see you. I see Mike says, hey, you changed your background. You know what? It's been a long time coming, y'all. I think Nez has kind of had a sort of the similar kind of Nez Nation background for a really, really long time, and I just wanted to kind of mix it up and give you guys a little bit of a different look. I hope you guys don't mind. Let me know what you think of it. I'm thinking I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be doing a lot of things differently. I think this is an important part of branding, is keeping things fresh, keeping things new, constantly experimenting, right? We talk about this, especially if you're building a business online. And we're going to talk about some amazing ways that you can do that in today's episode of Social Media and Tech News, especially on YouTube. VidCon just happened not that long ago, and YouTube announced some pretty shocking, groundbreaking, innovative ways that you and I, creators, business owners, can monetize and make money doing what we love to do, which is creating value for people. And so one of the things that I like to, try to do, and I've been kind of advocating this to my clients, advocating this to my students, and you guys as well, Nez Nation, my awesome, beautiful audience, is to constantly be experimenting, trying different things. Don't be afraid of failure. Don't be afraid of looking like an idiot. If I was afraid of looking like an idiot, I'd never go live again. Hello. So I'm trying to do some different things. You can see I've got the kind of green screen in the background. I want to do some different backgrounds. I want to do some variations and try to bring you guys just a fresh look, a fresh, take on things. And hopefully it's something that you guys, I'd love your feedback. Let me know in the comments down below. Oh, thank you, Michael Daniels, for the $2 super chat. How are you doing, sir? Thank you so much for that. I really appreciate that. Have to support the creators we enjoy. Absolutely. And ditto that to you, sir. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate that. This is one of the updates that we're going to be talking about, Michael, so I hope you can stick around. It's great to see everybody. Make sure you share this out. If you know anybody who's trying to create a compelling message, who's trying to create a brand, create a business in this online ecosystem, this is the show that you want to check out. You want to make sure that you share this out, retweet this out. I'll give you a shout out on the show. If you're listening to this on the podcast, make sure that you share this out as well, because you do not want to miss this. This is going to be some really, really good stuff. We're talking YouTube monetization updates, Instagram. Instagram is making some interesting changes. I just like talking to you guys about this stuff and giving a little bit more context as to what it means and what are the kind of ramifications of this. And what does it mean for you and I? What does it mean for people who are trying to create a brand, trying to create content, trying to create a business, a life that they can dictate on their own terms? A lot of great news. And then a little leak coming out of Cupertino. I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen this. I know Unbox Therapy, which is a really popular tech channel, has talked about this already. You know me, I'm an Apple dude, and I don't know how much longer I'm going to be an Apple dude, but for now I'm still an Apple dude, primarily because I'm too lazy to change everything. That's how they get you. Talk about brilliance of business and branding. I mean, that's how Apple gets you. Create your own operating system, basically create your own reality in your own ecosystem, and once you get trapped in that ecosystem, it's almost impossible to get out. So make sure you smash the smash button. That's absolutely right, Super Dave. It's so good to see you. And so I want to just kind of get right into it. But before we do, I'd like to hear from you. What are some things that are going on with you guys? What's happening in your world? Let me know in the comments below. Is there anything that you've discovered? Is there anything that you're like, hey, Nez, this is something you should be talking about? Or, hey, Nez, did you hear about this? Or, hey, Nez, I want to we're bringing more humanness to this digitalness. That is our tagline. That is our mission. I don't want to say mantra because that sounds a little too cultish, but although some of these communities can be a little cultish. But, I don't know. Maybe I don't mind leading a cult. Maybe that's not a bad idea. Maybe, who knows? Who cares? If it's done right, it just might change the world for the better. Who knows? But no, I'm totally kidding, by the way. Don't want to do that. I would love to hear from you. What does that mean, creating, trying to bring more humanness to this digitalness? Well, I mean, this has a lot to do with the Instagram update. And you know what? Why don't I just start with that? I'm going to start with the Instagram update, and then I'm going to jump into YouTube, and then I'll talk a little tech. So let's start with the social media, and then we'll get into the tech news. How many people have heard of this? How many people have heard this update? Let me know in the chat below. Instagram is now hiding photo like counts in 7 countries. It's just a test for now, they claim, but the 7 countries that are currently experiencing a hidden like count is Australia, Brazil, Canada, Ireland, Italy, Japan, and New Zealand. These are not small countries by no stretch of the imagination. And so, when I say bringing more humanness to this digitalness, a lot of these platforms, it seems to me, are trying to incorporate the same values, and I think it's awesome. There's been a lot of tests done that, Instagram and some of these platforms that are more popular, can actually create a lot of sadness and depression, especially in young people. Especially when they see that their like counts are low, or that people aren't liking their content, or, there was even a study, I think, done in the UK. Mike, you might like this. A 2017 UK study found that out of the 5 major social networks, Instagram was the most harmful to young people's mental health. And this is interesting too. Snapchat followed Instagram. Facebook was 3rd, Twitter was 4th, and YouTube was 5th. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of a lot of these studies and a lot of these so-called research. I mean, this is where I kind of, I always say to my class, and I tell you guys this too, do your own due diligence, do your own research, but also trust your intuition as well. I don't mean feelings, but trust your intuition. What are your observations, or what are you sensing out there? I always feel like getting boots on the ground, being more in the field, so to speak, gives you a little bit more hands-on than some of these data and statistics and these research numbers. Now, having said that, this study makes a lot of sense to me because, being an executive career coach and a personal branding coach, I work with a lot of clients who are not millennials, who are a lot older than millennials. And, they work with a lot of these young people, and they see that, the focus for a lot of these young people, the way that they communicate, their interpersonal skills, their so-called quote-unquote soft skills, are not quite as well-tuned or fine-tuned as maybe their baby boomer or Gen X counterparts. And obviously, a big part of that is the way that we're communicating today. I mean, I call personal branding 21st century communications because it is. It's 21st century communications. This is what we're using to communicate right now. This is how we're communicating right now. And this is what's happening in the world. So if you're not abreast of that, if you're not paying attention to that, then I think you're falling behind. You have to reflect the times that you're living in. When I say bringing more humanness to this digitalness, it's really about opening up that conversation about why you want to do what you want to do, a conversation about what's really important to you, a conversation about who you really are at your core essentiality. How do you bring that out to the forefront, and how do you communicate with conviction, authenticity, and vision so you can lead the life that you want to lead? I mean, it's not really that complex. I don't think it's really that complex at all. That's what this whole channel is about. So, and that's what's more human than that. And sometimes when we live in these digital bubbles, or we live in these digital platforms, and we're focusing so much on views, we're focusing so much on subscribers, we're focusing so much on likes, on shares, and how many, how many posts has this person done, or how many posts, is this person doing better than me in the like count? that can cause a sort of disarray, especially when you're young and, between 18 and 24. That's what I call the greatest age of discovery, is 18 to 24. Maybe even I would say I'd extend that to 18 to 30. It's really the greatest age of discovery, is discovering who you are, discovering what you're all about, discovering what you want to do for the rest of your life. 18 to 30 is a beautiful period because most people 18 to 30 don't have a lot of strings, and they have the luxury of failure and the luxury of choice. Whereas when you're my age, well above 30, and some of the people watching right now, you've got family, you've got a mortgage, you've got responsibilities, you've got obligations. There's not a lot of choice in the matter. I mean, don't get me wrong, you still have a lot of choice, but not as much as between the ages of 18 to 25 or 18 to 30. And so this move by Instagram, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. They said they're going to be, increasing the volume of this test. Again, they're calling it a test. And most of you guys know that back in April at the Facebook F8 Developer Conference, Facebook's been talking about combating bullying for a long time and talking about creating new features that combat bullying for quite some time. And, Instagram, obviously, if you don't know this, Instagram is owned by Facebook. So this is really, really interesting. I mean, Brazil, Canada, Ireland, Italy, Japan, New Zealand, Australia. I mean, these are major marketplaces for Instagram. So yeah, this is really interesting. What do you guys think about this? I actually think this is going to force people to create more powerful content that creates actual real engagement. And it also will allow people, I think, to be a little bit more free in expressing themselves and not worried so much over that, what I like to call a vanity metric. And also it will put influencers under fire too. It's not just about likes. It's not just about followers, because, and if you don't know this is something that is very easily fabricated. Even though these companies and these platforms are doing their best to come down hard on influencers for taking advantage and gaming the system, a lot of them slip by the firewalls. A lot of them slip by the gates very easily. They're cunning, and they have all sorts of new ways of getting past that. So this, I think, is going to put influencers under fire as well. And I think it's I actually think it's a really interesting idea. There's a part of me that doesn't like it because it's like, well, are we constantly going to shield ourselves? Are we constantly going to kowtow to the percentage of people who, are they feel they're not able to handle this on their own, or they maybe handle this in their own communities? Is this a part of like the repressiveness that maybe sometimes these platforms can execute? It's interesting to me. There is a part of me that doesn't like this idea at all, but, having the experience of not only having millennials as students, but, I think a lot of these mental health studies, somebody who's a huge, huge advocate for mental health and somebody who talks about mindset and messaging all the time on my channel, and anxiety, because I faced that as a young man. And also I've done a aircraft carrier of research on this dude inside your head. I mean, I've heard this, you've heard this a lot, Nez Nation, from me. There's a larger portion of me that's actually interested, intrigued, and happy about this. So I don't know. I leave it to you guys. I'd love to hear in the comments, what do you think here? Hybrid Steel, Mike says, they're basically going to be turning Instagram into a second arm for Facebook, so it follows the same platform rules and interactions. Yeah, I mean, they definitely own Instagram, and boy, what a pickup by Facebook too. They really got away with that, didn't they? They got Instagram for a steal. Brad on Facebook says, you can be older and still have a millennial mindset. Nice. I like that. Yeah. Or you can still be old and have an absolute juvenile infantile mindset. Ding, 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 ding. That's not me at all. I'm very mature. Can't you tell? Okay. Yes, absolutely right, Dave. Super Dave says they should get rid of the like button if they're going to hide likes. Yeah, maybe on Facebook they should get rid of the like button. That's interesting. Yeah, so I think that Facebook, if you look at the demographics, and this goes out to anybody who's thinking about creating content, we talk about this all the time. We talk about personal branding all the time, and one of the cornerstones of creating a viable, real brand online is to make sure that you know who your audience is. The thing is about Instagram is definitely a much younger demographic. Don't get me wrong, everybody and anyone who wants to really build something should be on Instagram, but predominantly it's a younger demographic. It's that Snapchat audience that they basically stole from Snapchat, and I don't know, maybe stole is a harsh word, but they drew, let's say that, they drew this audience away from Snapchat when they incorporated Instagram stories and other features that, nurtured that demographics appeal. And so Facebook, I think without a question, Facebook is a much, much, much older demographic. And I'm not sure if Facebook's as worried about getting rid of the like button as maybe Instagram is. So this is interesting. If you live in one of these 7 countries, I'd love to hear. I don't know what any user case studies are like or anything like that. But I think that much like anything, this kind of experimentation will either A, take some getting used to, get a lot of backlash, B, or maybe a combination of both that may lead to a common ground and actually a beneficial way of executing. Who knows? I don't know. It's really interesting. I do know one thing. I don't get a super, super large amount of likes on my Instagram channel, so maybe it'll help people like me to not, focus on that as well. Because I'm going to be honest with you, even though I'm much older than a millennial, I definitely sometimes just open the Instagram app just to see how many people have seen my story, just to see how many likes I have. I'm not above that. I'm going to be completely transparent with you guys. I am definitely not above that, and I do that as well. So maybe this isn't just a millennial issue. And yes, absolutely. When you're a content creator, you get a pang of sadness. You do. It stings when you feel that you've done a great job with some content and it doesn't get anything. Much like, a great director or a great comedian or a great, playwright, puts on a great show or it takes a lot of hard work to create this stuff. I mean, could you imagine, a film director, especially pre-2005, 2010, being a film director, the amount of work, the amount of time, the amount of energy, the amount of, painstaking, attention to detail and hiring all the right people and distributing it and then having it make nothing or get the worst reviews. That's just gotta be super, super, it hurts. So maybe this is kind of a small microcosm version of that, at least for content creators. I know it is. When I put out something that I feel like, oh man, this is a good one. I know this is going to hit. I know this one's going to make an impact. I know this has got to reach some people and really force them to kind of take a look at things in a different way. And you put it out there, and what happens? It gets nothing. That's a huge blow. So even as somebody who's not even close to a millennial, I can attest to how, when you create content and it doesn't do what you hoped it would do, it's a big, big, big blow. It really is. Modern day tech in the house. Rosalind Cohn. How are you, Rosalind Cohn? Good to see you. Thank you so much, Eric. I appreciate that. It's great to see you. We're talking about Instagram and how Instagram has been deploying this new test of getting rid of likes in certain countries, 7 countries to be exact. Brazil, New Zealand, Italy, and Japan are amongst the 7. So there's some pretty large countries that are experiencing this. Let me know where you're joining me from, and let me know if you have any experience with this new feature. And again, they're calling it a test. So what does that mean? I don't know. It hasn't come to the US yet. It hasn't come to the UK yet. But it has hit some pretty big markets like New Zealand, Australia, Brazil. Brazil's a huge Instagram market. So it's interesting to see what's going to come of this. And who knows, maybe YouTube and maybe Facebook, if this catches on, maybe this. Now, do you think? I want to pose a question to you, and if you're watching this on the replay, leave your answer in the comments. Do you think that the amount of likes a piece of content gets is a good barometer for the quality of that content? What do you consider? I want to throw this question to you. What do you consider a good measurement that will give you accurate information as to whether a piece of content is effective or ineffective? Is it likes? Is it comments? Is it views? Is it shares? Is it, repurposing? Is it, let me know. A couple I can't even think of. Let me know in the comments down below. Mike says, I don't use my phone too much, so Instagram doesn't get much attention. Shame I can't really use it on computer. That may change too, by the way. Instagram's also toying with, this is kind of a bonus news item. Instagram is also toying with some ideas of making a desktop-friendly version that you can do a lot more. There's already some desktop friendliness, but not quite as much as Facebook, LinkedIn, or YouTube. Especially YouTube. YouTube's definitely majorly desktop friendly, but Instagram is actually going to be, this is going to happen sooner than later. Even though the whole world is going more mobile, Instagram is definitely, this is some news that I have from a very good source, that Instagram is going to be incorporating a more desktop-friendly version. So you can already, on your Facebook business page, you can already do a lot of things that you can incorporate over to Instagram. But it's going to be really, really interesting to see. This is Facebook's golden ticket. Facebook would be in a lot of trouble if they didn't have Instagram. YouTube and Snapchat are definitely winning the younger demographic, and Instagram is right there. So right there, if not higher. And so Facebook is really lucky they have Instagram. Flash says, I wish Instagram was more integrated, PC as well. Yeah, definitely, Flash. I think it will be. Mike says, a graph that tells me it's been viewed and for how long is a good indication of my work. So what Hybrid's talking about is actual analytics that show the duration and watch time, which, by the way, if you're an algorithmic lover, or if you want to grow on YouTube or grow on really any platform, it's all about getting those consumers, those viewers, your audience to stay longer on the platform. It doesn't matter if it's YouTube, it doesn't matter if it's Facebook, it doesn't matter if it's LinkedIn, Snapchat, Instagram. Keeping people on the platform for longer watch session times or watch time minutes is the most important relevant metric to getting your stuff more exposure, or at least making the algorithm work for you rather than against you. I'm not saying I'm an algorithm expert, but I do know that has been a big factor, and it's been something that I've considered and studied. So really, really interesting. Brad says, won't content creators still get that data via insights? It won't be public, right? It just won't be public, right? Yes, that is correct. So insights is still, I think that it's the only difference is that, and by the way, Instagram Studio, which is another huge new release from Instagram. We talked about this on a previous episode of Social Media and Tech News. Instagram Studio allows you to check out those metrics as well. Yes, so the only difference is, Brad, is that it won't be public. That is correct. Just like with YouTube's latest update that they did not that long ago, where they're rounding up subscriber numbers, the exact subscriber count can still be found in YouTube Beta Studio. Okay, so you can always check the exact number within your own account in a private manner. That's exactly right. So interesting stuff. On the one hand, I think it's nice to see these platforms thinking at least a little bit more about their audience, thinking a little bit more about creating a platform. As long as I'm just not a big fan of censorship. I'm not sure if I really, obviously, unless it's, I don't even know if I can say that. I was going to say unless it's something evil or whatever, but that's such a subjective term, so I don't even know about that. I think, it always feels good, which is what this channel is all about. It always feels good to have a discussion about things. And to dismiss something as evil and block it and censor it never allows us to learn from it, and it gives it more of an opportunity to repeat itself. So I'm always a big advocate of having discussion, which is why I love every single Sunday coming and hanging out with you guys. I love it. Which reminds me, holy macadamia nut, who's ready for an overlay? I want to see an emoji. Where is Christian ready? No, Christian told me he's been busy with his family and stuff lately. Who's ready for an overlay? Have you been overlaid yet? If you haven't been overlaid in a long time, consider your thirst about to be quenched, because I'm going to overlay you right now. Ladies and gentlemen, let's overlay you. So we go live, just in case you didn't know this, we go live every single Sunday, okay, at 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern. We go live on YouTube, which is youtube.com/Professor Nez. We go live on Facebook, my Facebook business page, Professor Nez. We go live on Periscope, Professor Nez. We go live on Twitch, Professor Nez. Pretty much Professor Nez everywhere. And so, once I get LinkedIn Live, as of this recording, I don't have it yet. We're going to go live there too. It's going to be a pentacast. Sometimes we go live on Instagram as well as all these other platforms, but Instagram Live is very restricted. In other words, especially time-wise, you only have 59 minutes to go live on Instagram, and usually these live streams go way beyond 59 minutes sometimes. So, yes, so overlay. If you haven't been overlaid, consider yourself overlaid. Every Sunday at 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern, that is when we go live, okay? Hey, Gerald Wade, it's good to see you. Come on in. Make sure you smash the smash button. We want you to hit it, smack it, and smash it, that like button down there. We'd really, really appreciate it. So let's move on. Who's ready for YouTube monetization? Who's ready to learn about the most latest brand new updates from YouTube that they announced at one of the biggest video conferences in the world, VidCon 2019, that just happened very, very close to here in Anaheim, California. How many people are ready for that? I'm so excited to talk to you about this. Some pretty cool updates from YouTube, and then I'm going to talk a little tech, specifically with Mac and Apple. I'm going to talk a little bit of tech, and I still want to hear from you guys. If you have any thoughts or comments on our first topic of the day, which was Instagram removing likes from the page or public likes from the page, leave a note in the comments down below. And I'm going to get to your question. I respond to all the comments here, so please let me know what your thoughts are on that. Is it a good idea? Is it a bad idea? Or do you not even care? Does it not even really matter? It'd be hard to say that it doesn't matter, because especially for people who monetize their account on Instagram and do sponsored posts or brand deals or collaborations or market themselves as an influencer, it'd be pretty hard to say that it doesn't matter, because that's a huge metric that I know a lot of influencers leverage so that they can get deals. So it's going to be interesting. If you want my personal opinion on because I asked you guys, what's the most important metric? To me, the most important metric is the engagement. That's the most important metric. What kind of conversation is taking place? What are people talking about in the comments? And not just kind of passive, sort of, effortless comments like an emoji or a thumbs up or something like that, but real kind of, thoughtful. It's the same thing as, when I teach my online courses for the university. We have this thing called discussion boards, and, how you get points is based on the quality, not quantity, but the quality of your comment, the quality of your participation in the conversation. And I think that's the same thing. I mean, isn't that just a human thing, right? I mean, if you're having a conversation with somebody at a coffee shop, let's say me and Mike or me and Brad are having a conversation. Thank you so much, Gerald. I appreciate the compliment. If I'm having a conversation with Gerald at a coffee shop and I'm giving him one of these every 5 minutes, he's saying something and I'm just doing this, he's going to look at me and be like, this guy's a complete a-hole. He doesn't care about me. He's just like, what's that? I mean, I'm trying to have a conversation here. Conversation is a two-way street. What do you have to say? What are your thoughts? Pose some questions. Bring some value, right? Add to the conversation. Contribute to the conversation. That's what I think is a hallmark for a quality post, and what I think brands, businesses, or you, it doesn't have to be a huge brand or business or a big organization. I think influencer marketing is probably one of the most underutilized ways to build your personal brand and build your awareness. I think it's a great investment to partner with somebody who aligns with your brand, somebody who has a lot, more leverage and more reach than perhaps you do. I think that's a smart investment of money, I think, in influencer marketing. But how do you know, how do you vet these influencers? Well, I think a lot of it has to do with what's the conversation that's happening in these threads and these posts and on their content, not just likes, not just a quick, emoji, but like an actual conversation. And definitely, obviously, not spam, which Instagram is fraught with a lot of spam. I mean, I think every post that I put on Instagram gets about probably 85% spam, and the rest is people in my audience or conversation, which really is sad. I don't think it's like that with every LinkedIn channel or Instagram account, but for mine, and I think a lot of people can relate to this, I think it does. Yes, Gauging Gadgets on Twitch. How are you, sir? Great to see you. Thank you so much. Sir, I'm saying sir. I don't know if it's a sir. Maybe I'm being presumptuous. Tons of spam on Instagram for sure. Yeah, and I think that's one of the things that's turned a lot of people off on Instagram, especially maybe people my age, but also, I mean, I talk to my students. I talk to millennials all the time. Because I really feel for this generation and my kids. I care about this generation. My kids are a part of this generation, whether they like it or not. They're going to be raised by, they're going to live in a world that's dominated by millennials. So I have a vested interest in this, and I want to do my best. Really, my whole channel, my whole position, my whole platform is to try to be of some help. Try to throw in my 2 cents of what I feel is going to make people empower people, help people, build people up, hopefully in a good way. That's my whole mission for doing this. Are there monetary opportunities? Yes, for sure there are. Do I have a business and a brand? Absolutely. But that does not circumvent, or that does not trump my core desire, which is, I want my kids, I want to leave the world a little bit better when I leave than when I came. I mean, I'm hoping to, at least. And I know a lot of you guys have gotten a lot of great value from my channel, and I hope to bring even more, which is why I want to listen to you. DM me, send me a message. Let me know what kind of content you'd like to see from me. I say this every single live stream. I want to serve you guys. So whatever you think would bring you the most help, I'm all for that. So it's going to be interesting to see how Instagram pulls this off. Great to see you, Gauging Gadgets. YouTube. Who's ready to talk about the YouTube updates? Holy macadamia nut. Some pretty big ones. And Gauging Gadgets over on Twitch, I think you're going to really get a lot out of this, because a lot of these updates seem very Twitch-ish. Not exactly Twitch, but Twitch-ish, if you will. So I'm really curious to talk about it. So VidCon, if you don't know, they just celebrated their 10th anniversary recently. And VidCon is probably one of the largest conferences, industry conferences for creators to come together and learn more about how to, monetize their content, how to grow their content, how to grow their brand, how to grow their online reputation, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And, YouTube just announced at this last VidCon conference, which was recently, that they have more revenue streams. They're creating more opportunities for creators to monetize. YouTube updates about monetization. And I'm going to jump right into it. There's several really, really big ones. I may not be able to get to all of them. And maybe all of them don't relate to you, but there's some really big, cool changes happening with YouTube. So the first thing is, who's ready for number one? Give me a thumbs up in the chat. Say, Nez, I'm ready for you. So the first one, and how many people here, also kind of a split question, how many people here are aware of Super Chats? Super Chats is a great, probably actually, Super Chat, I got some stats here about Super Chats. There are now over 90,000 channels who have received Super Chats. 90,000 channels. There are some streams that are earning more than $400 per minute. And Flash, I know you're in the chat. To quote Flash Fam, hashtag Flash Fam, my man Flash, Dr. Ed Marvin, I call him Dr. Ed, is famous, and I'm going to quote him. He's famous for saying that the future of YouTube is live streaming. And so, and if you don't know Flash's channel, and Hybrid's got a great channel, a lot of people in the chat have got amazing channels. Patty Broussard, how are you? It's so good to see you. I'm listening while doing some swim lessons. Fantastic. I love it. I absolutely love it. This will all be on the podcast too, which, by the way, just a quick TO, go to the Nez Nation Live podcast. We're on Spotify, we're on iTunes, we're on Google Podcasts, we're on Stitcher, we're on Anchor FM. We're everywhere that you listen to your podcast. Nez Nation Live, Personal Branding 101. Go subscribe. We have over 100 5-star ratings now. It's growing massively. Our podcast is all about mindset and messaging, helping you to elevate your career, grow your business and your brand in the online ecosystem. Personal Branding 101. And we're bringing guests. We had Nick Nimmin live recently. We had Dale, the self-publishing expert, on recently. We've got all sorts of great experts and interviews and just unbelievable audio masterclasses. Go to the podcast. Go check it out. Please subscribe. And if you could write us a 5-star review because why would you write anything less than 5 stars, right? I love it when you hear some of these podcasters and they say, please write us an honest review. No, I don't want an honest review. Give me 5 stars, damn it. No, of course, obviously, whatever you feel is appropriate. If you could write us a review on iTunes, that would really mean the most to us, because iTunes is where it really counts as far as search goes, and it just really helps us out. So we'd really appreciate it. We've got over 100 ratings now, over 100, and most of them are 5-star. I think 99% of them are 5-star. So I want to do the best I can to serve you guys. So go check out the podcast, and you can always reach out to me and let me know what would you want to hear, because Patty, I love that you're doing that. I think voice content, audio content, voice technology is going to be taking over. Everybody's talking about video. But you know what? Video is awesome, and video is still going to dominate, but voice is something that you need to pay attention to. You need to somehow incorporate, and it's easier than ever. I've got a bunch of videos and audio masterclasses that can kind of teach you how to utilize this technology. YouTube. So Super Chats. Let me get back to what I was talking about. So Super Chats. Super Chats are a way for, just in case you don't know, no, they're not. No, they're not. Gauging gadgets. No, they're not all related to live streaming. However, some of the big ones are. But no, they're not. Hybrid says, daily content is slowly killing me. I've never done this. 5 videos still to commentate and render for next week, and at the same time I'm playing the game. Nice. Hybrid's got a great gaming channel. You got to go check that out as well. He does gaming reviews and everything game related. Flash does amazing live streams, and I'm gauging gadgets. You do a lot with tech. Am I incorrect? Let us know, and feel free to leave your channel link if you want to in the chat. That's totally fine. I have no problem with that, especially to the people who are listening live. If you're listening to this on the podcast, I've said this many, many times, I'd love for you to be here. I would love for you to be here in our live chat every Sunday, 2 p.m. Pacific time, 5 p.m. Eastern time. We go live right here on YouTube, Twitch, Periscope, LinkedIn soon, and my Facebook business page. So Super Chat is a way to reward your live streaming host with, hint, hint, feel free to experiment if you'd like. So Super Chats is a way to basically, offer some support to your live streamer by actually paying directly. It goes as little as, I think, 99 cents to up to, I know some people get like $500 super chats. So there's a lot of ways. Super chats is basically a way to monetize your live stream. And there are some parameters. You need to have 1,000 subscribers. And you need to have the 400 hours of watch time, I believe. You need to be a YouTube partner, a lot of those things. So I don't know what the exact, if it's still the same, you might want to check that out. But Super Chat is now, check this out. Check this stat out, guys, especially for you live streamers out there. Super Chat is now the #1 revenue stream on YouTube for nearly 20,000 channels. It's an increase of over 65% from last year. Holy macadamia nut. So maybe Flash Fam, maybe Dr. Ed Marvin was onto something. Who knows? Maybe live streaming is the future of YouTube. I don't know. I mean, if that's the #1 revenue stream, I mean, those stats don't lie. And it's an increase of over 65% over last year. That's a big, big, big stat. Midnight Madness in the house. It's Charlie Dog. Everybody give me a Charlie Dog. Charlie's in the house. How are you, sir? Mike has been playing Car Mechanic Simulator. I can do the same with my live streams. How are you doing? It's great to see you, Charlie Dog. You know what to do, Charlie. Make sure you smash the smash. I want you to smash that smash. Why am I fired? Am I fired? I get fired. Okay, that's fine. I'm fired. It's one of the beautiful things about running your own ship. When you got your own business, everybody can fire you. It's all good in the hood. I'll be aight. So, leaning into this momentum, YouTube is now introducing Gauging Gadgets. I hope you're still here. Looks like you've jumped over on YouTube, but if you're on Twitch, you're going to love this because this is going to sound very, very familiar. Now YouTube is introducing super stickers. Super stickers. So this new feature will allow fans to purchase animated stickers during live streams and premieres. Because premiere is basically a live stream without a live stream. It's a live premiere of a video or whatever. And you can show your favorite creators just how much you enjoy their content. And they're going to come in all these kind of different designs. So very Twitch-ish. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to screen share and just show you what this kind of looks like really quickly. Because I've got a cool, let's see if I can do this. Yeah, so hopefully you can see the screen right here. This is just an example. Some of these creators have this already. Let me know if you can see the screen. You can see that, Laura right there gave a $5 chat with a super sticker. So YouTube is introducing this super sticker and another thing too. So, I mean, this is huge, you guys. Another thing, let me know if you can see that. Another thing too is they're also going to be, okay, check this out. They're also going to be not only for the super sticker, but they're going to be also giving you your own personal emoji, badge, and special perks for extreme live streams, extra videos, or shout outs with channel memberships. Now, I believe with channel memberships, you have to be a certain amount of subscribers with channel memberships. I think it's high, like 30,000 or maybe 10,000 plus. I'm not sure. So I'm nowhere near that. I will be one day. But, just to kind of keep in line with the live stream news, super stickers and super emojis and new emojis that channel members get. So, which gives you a little extra feeling of inclusiveness in the live stream community or in the community of the content creator that you want to be a part of. So really, those two things right there, really, really big things. Really, really big things for those two right there. And those are huge updates. And like I said, very Twitch-ish. Right? Does that sound familiar, guys? Does that sound familiar? So even the $4.99 channel membership, which is a brand new thing too in the last 18 months, now they're allowing you to purchase, which it hasn't rolled out yet. It's going to roll out more universally, I think, in the next 6 months. super stickers and personalized emojis and personalized stickers and avatars for channel members. So imagine being on Nimin's live stream and you're a channel member, which a lot of people in the chat right here are. DH in the house. Good to see you, DH. How in the world are you? Doug Hewson, who's got an amazing channel as well. Good to see you, DH. Happy Monday. Is it Happy Monday? Wait a minute. Happy Monday. It's Sunday. Must be Monday in the UK. Is that correct? Or where are you at, DH? Maybe you're in Australia. So yes, this is very interesting. Gauging Gadget says, let me see, I want to bring Gauging. Gauging Gadget says, YouTube certainly is lacking when it comes to live streaming. I still think video will always be their bread and butter. Interesting, Gauging Gadgets. And welcome to Nez Nation, by the way. I'm glad to have you here. You seem to be somebody who's offering a lot of value to the chat. Good to see you, sir. Yeah, so this is really, really interesting. I'm really, really curious to see what you guys... Thank you so much, DH. Yes, DH was one who helped me with my purchase of a green screen. I'm still having a little bit of problem because I got to have it like right up on me, DH, and maybe we need to talk about this in a private message. It's kind of like it's not covering the full territory that I want it to, so I'm still kind of struggling there, but overall I'm happy. Australia, it's nearly 8 a.m. Okay, thank you so much. Happy Monday to you then, DH. Mike says, I have my custom sections for members length and my own emoji. Very cool. Very cool. Yeah, that's another thing too. Mike says it's 11:15 in the UK. So that's another thing too. Thank you so much for being here too, Mike. I really appreciate that. I know that's late for you, especially being a dad. That's another thing too, is I think that not only is live streaming a huge, huge part of YouTube and becoming even a bigger part of YouTube, but gaming, the gaming faction of YouTube is becoming a really, EA Sports and, esports, gaming, contests, gaming interest, gaming phenomenons is just blazing like wildfire all over the internet and all over, the marketplace. And so, yeah, it's really interesting to see YouTube getting a piece of that action. So super stickers. Okay, so we got super stickers and we've got new badges, unique badges, special perks for channel members. And then here's another one that's huge. This is another huge monetization tool that YouTube has added, which sounds very familiar to something else. They're also going to be adding, so they got super stickers and badges and unique emojis. They're also going to be adding membership levels to creators. Creators can now set up to 5 different price points for channel memberships, each with varying perks. So what does that sound like? Does that sound similar to something? So basically every third party that YouTube works with, or every competitor that YouTube quote unquote has or doesn't have, logistically or legitimately or not, they're pretty much saying, you know what, we're just going to incorporate that into our platform, right? Who is probably the top competitor right now for video? It's not Facebook Watch, I'll tell you that. It's definitely more so Twitch and Patreon, isn't it? And Patreon's not really a competitor, but Patreon's building an entire business around YouTube's lack of this feature. And so this is really, really interesting. So they've now with new levels, Mike says 5 tiers and you decide the perks for the members. Yeah. Doesn't that sound a little bit similar to Patreon? Doesn't that sound almost exactly like Patreon, right? Gauging Gadget says, I wish YouTube had a way of filtering live streams that was similar to Twitch. It's so much easier to find streams on Twitch. That's a great point, Gauging Gadgets. And Super Dave says he agrees. That is actually a very, very good point. However, if you're subscribed to a channel, right? I know for one thing, if you're subscribed to a channel on YouTube, and you've got the notifications, especially all notifications. How many people in the chat here got a notification besides the Nez cord? Which, by the way, I want Gauging Gadgets and other new members in the chat to come over to our Nez cord. Do you mind hybrid sharing the Nez cord in the chat, please, if you have a second? One of my mods, Luis, isn't here, and neither is Christian. But if you could share the Nez cord, I'd really appreciate that. I want our new people here in the chat, or just anybody really who's not in the Nez cord yet, to to go hang out and join our Nez cord. I would love that. Hybrid, if you could share that link really quickly, I would really, really appreciate it. That would mean a lot to me. So tiers, private unique emojis and badges and super stickers sounds very, very similar to Twitch and other platforms. Even, Periscope has, gosh, it's so funny. Periscope and Twitter Live has been so behind in the game, it feels like. Is it super stickers or super, what's it called again? What's Periscope's way of monetizing? Super hearts. Yes, super hearts. So much like you can purchase a bunch of super hearts on Periscope or Twitter Live, as it pretty much is, and you can pay or support the live streamer or content creator that way. So that's really, really interesting. Big news, y'all. I mean, this is big, big news. Another huge update from YouTube is most of you guys know that you can incorporate a merch shelf into your channel, and YouTube partnered with Teespring, and that's a way for you to directly link merch to your fans of your channel. So for the longest time, YouTube only partnered with Teespring. Well, now they've added 5 new partners so that you can, I know Flash Fam has merch. I've got Nez Nation merch. A lot of people have merch, that, relates to their channel and relates to their brand. And used to only be Teespring. And so now they've added 5 new partners. So eligible creators merchandising with CrowdMade, DFTBA, which I don't even know what that is, Fanjoy, Represent, and Rooster Teeth. That's a cool name for a company. Rooster Teeth can also now use the merch shelf. So that's really, really cool. As early as last year, revenue on YouTube from Super Chat, channel memberships, and merch was nearly zero. And now today, these products are generating meaningful results to creators across the globe. So how cool is that? Thousands of channels have now more than doubled their YouTube revenue by using these new tools in addition to advertising. So that is absolutely in fuego. I've been giving away a lot of my merch, Gauging Gadgets, and Hybrid says he's not that's crazy. You're not a mod in my Discord? That makes 0 sense at all. I've been really giving away a lot of my merch. I haven't really set it up to where I'm selling it per se. I'm more so just giving it away. That's not something I'm really worrying about as far as monetizing, but it's cool to know, if I do one day. It's just, I'm not monetizing my merch right now, but it'll be cool to know that one day, which I might do this very, very soon, it's cool to know that I may just incorporate that. So, I'm really excited about that. And I think it's just, here's the thing, whether you monetize or not, the point is that you can, I just left the link to the Discord, the Nez cord in the chat on YouTube. What's cool is that YouTube is actually thinking about this. That's what's cool, is that YouTube is incorporating more ways. They're thinking, for the longest time, this has been the biggest complaint about YouTube and a lot of these platforms, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat included, even LinkedIn, that a lot of these platforms are not thinking of the creator. They're not putting enough time, energy, and effort into helping creators. Which, think about it, guys. If Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, YouTube has YouTube Originals, but for the most part, this is all user-generated content. We have all the power, y'all. Without us, these platforms don't exist. Without us, let me say that again. Without us, these platforms don't exist. So the fact that they're reciprocating, in especially the last 12 to 13 months, they've really, I think, especially YouTube, my hat's off to Google and YouTube, they've really done a good job of paying a little bit more attention to creators, helping creators in ways, multiple different ways that they can make this be more full-time for them, There's a great article in the USA Today, which a couple of brethren of ours, Nick Nimmin and BG, were on the cover of USA Today saying that now more than ever, YouTube has allowed people to quit their job. And this is just more ways in which this is related actually a lot to that article. These are just more ways, which is why I wanted to talk about it. So this is absolutely fantastic. So new ways to optimize your merch on YouTube. Super Chat is a fantastic way to monetize your videos, your live streams specifically, or premieres. You've also got, you don't have to, it doesn't have to necessarily be live streaming. Some of you guys were talking about, is this all about live streaming? How many people have really utilized premieres? I mean, this is a kind of a new tool that YouTube has incorporated, and that's a way for you to utilize and leverage super chats. If you're not really a fan of live streaming or a little bit apprehensive about live streaming, which I've got some great videos that'll help you get over that on my YouTube channel. Go to youtube.com/Professor Nez. But yeah, so these are you can do premieres. And by creating valuable content that serves an audience, by actually caring about the individuals who are giving you their time, watch what happens. You can monetize, and you can monetize in quick, fast, and big ways. But you can't think about, as a personal branding coach, I advise everybody listening and watching, or watching this on the replay, don't think about monetization too soon. Think more about creating bombastic, brain-busting content that just smothers people with value, and then watch what happens. That's branding. That's personal branding, and that's what this show is all about. That's what this channel is all about. No, Gauging Gadgets. I purchase the merch at full price and send it to your viewers. So I purchase it at cost, not the full retail price, and then I'll send it to. Yeah, I've done that before. I mean, I know Flash has it. I think Mike's in the UK. For some reason, I haven't been able to send it overseas. Gauging Gadgets, if you want one, let me know. I'd be happy to send you a Nez Nation shirt. I'm not wearing one right now, but it would basically have the hashtag Nez Nation on there, which if you look at my previous videos, you'll see me wearing the shirt and stuff. I'm using a different background right now. I usually have my hashtag sign, my board, up here for Nez Nation, which is a community of people coming together to bring more humanness to this digitalness. That's what our channel is all about. But yeah, absolutely. Hybrid says, oh, this is interesting. I want to show this comment. Hybrid says, my friend quit his job last year. Outside sponsorship, Patreon, and ad revenue makes him enough a month to where it's more profitable than having a job. That is the best news I've heard all day. I love that. I love hearing stories like that, Mike, especially when it doesn't require, you don't have to be so greedy. It doesn't require that much. If you can get by on just enough, you need to be able to determine what that just enough is. If these sort of illusions of making millions and millions, I'm not saying you can't make millions on these platforms, but it's so far and few in between. But there are ways you can make a substantial income, maybe not millions and maybe not rocket fame, but substantial income by creating value. So yeah, that's awesome. Thank you for sharing that, Mike. I really, really appreciate that. That's awesome. Daryl Eves sent me the VidSummit shirt. It took 3 weeks. Really? Yeah, I don't know. I need to figure out, because I want to send you one, and I definitely want to send some other people who are abroad. Roz is one. Roz isn't here today, but I want to send some more people who are living outside the U.S. I'm in the U.S., and for some reason, maybe I just need to go with a different company. The company I was with made it really difficult to send overseas. I'll have to look into that and see about that. I haven't really thought about merch in a really, really long time. And so, Hybrid, maybe you've kind of reignited that in me. Thank you. I appreciate it. I agree. Gauging Gadgets, great comment. Raging Graduate says there's way more growth potential with YouTube than most corporate environments. I don't know about most corporate environments, but I agree. I think now more than ever, especially people who think, is it too late to start a YouTube channel? This is the best time to start a YouTube channel. I think now more than ever, these platforms and their impact, right? And sometimes negative impact, right? Realize the power that they wield. And it's nice to see that they're offering some, assistance to the people who make their platforms. Again, I'm going to say this again. This is all user-generated content. LinkedIn is user-generated content. YouTube is user-generated content. Instagram is user-generated content. Facebook is user-generated content. Twitter is user-generated content. Without us, these platforms are a big fat goose egg. Nil, nothing, zero, nada. So think about that. Sarasota Experience. Lenny's in the house. Lenny, did you smash that smash button? I hope you did. How is the lovely Florida, Mr. Lenny, Sarasota Experience? I'm presuming you're in Sarasota. Am I incorrect? I mean, with that name, you definitely aren't in Pensacola, are you? Hey, Brad's got a sweatshirt. Brad's got a Nez Nation sweatshirt. Thank you so much, Brad. Brad, the Friedman Group is over here on YouTube. Great to see you, Brad. Absolutely. Appreciate it, Brad. Yes, and Brad, you wear it very, very well. You wear it very smartly. I love it. You look elegant in that Nez Nation sweatshirt. So, super chat, super sticker, tiers, badges. I mean, all sorts of stuff happening. Here's another big update with YouTube. I'm not sure how I feel about this one, but this one doesn't have anything to do with monetization. But it does and it doesn't, because if you monetize the way that I want you to monetize, which is monetize with not selling anything, especially initially, but just creating and demonstrating why people should pay attention to you, which creates opportunities, which builds an infrastructure for you to create opportunities, this may be a big part of monetization, even though I say it might not be. So YouTube is incorporating a brand new learning environment by creating what's called learning playlists. And so this is a brand new feature, and it's not out for everybody yet. None of these features are out for everybody yet. These are just all brand new announced features. They're probably going to roll out very slowly, like all rollouts are, right? But basically what this is that, you'll be able to provide more structure, dividing kind of like a collection of videos into chapters or like online courses, like modules around key concepts, starting from beginner to more advanced. And so some of the partners that have this are like Khan Academy, TED-Ed, and other places. And basically it's a playlist where there won't be any suggested videos. There won't be any interruption, which is really kind of interesting. And you can actually create kind of like a series of videos, or it's almost like creating an online course on YouTube and basically helping people, educating people. And it's like a series. And whether or not this is going to help your watch time or whether this is going to contribute, I do know that one of the biggest features is that there won't be any suggested videos on the side. You know how when the video gets posted and people are watching the video, there's always suggested videos. Well, this is almost like its own entity within YouTube playlists, and it's called LinkedIn Learning. I'm sorry. Scratch that. Brain fart, not LinkedIn Learning. Hey, Ronnie, give me a double, will you? On the double. But it's called Learning Playlists, LinkedIn Learning. It's called Learning Playlists on YouTube. So this is really interesting. How I can't wait to tackle this, because being somebody who's not only a real professor, but somebody who, is just a natural born coach and teacher. My whole life I've been that way, even for my friends when I was a young kid. It's going to be interesting to see how that kind of can help us be more valuable to our audience, can help us build something, on these awesome platforms, and build more leverage and build more influence and build more thought leadership by really just taking a holistically educational approach. So learning playlists, a dedicated learning environment for people who come to YouTube to learn. Okay. So recommendations will be hidden from the watch page to allow the viewer to focus just on the lesson. So this is really cool. It's really interesting. So we'll see how TED Ed and Khan Academy, which are some of the big dogs in the space, we'll see how they incorporate this. So really, really interesting. Let me know what you guys think of these latest YouTube updates. What do you think of super stickers? What do you think of, having unique emojis and badges for members? What do you think of the 5-tier system that they're going to be incorporating, or it's slowly rolling out? Maybe it sounds like Mike maybe already has this, but it hasn't rolled out to a lot of people. What do you think of this LinkedIn Learning, which omits recommendations or recommended suggested videos from the watch page? What do you think of that? How are you going to build value with these new tools for monetization, new tools for building your influence, new tools for building your brand? I want to hear from you. Leave it in the comments down below. Hybrid Steel says, I've got a few playlists already made that just like that, just because I make guides from time to time. Now, let me ask you a question, Hybrid, because I know that it's extremely beneficial to create, playlists that basically, inspire viewers to stay on the platform. So series or playlists that are series or sequels, having a large series of videos under one theme or topic, is a recommended way to increase watch time. Is LinkedIn Learning, since there is no recommended videos or suggested videos, and it seems to be a feature that solely is focused on the purpose of education only and no kind of algorithmic, gaming at all. What are your is this something that's going to help people to increase watch time? Is that even going to be something that's going to be a factor or be an added benefit to creating this YouTube Learning playlist? Let us know. If you already have this information, let me know. Because that would be awesome. I don't have access to this. No, I do not. But I think it'll definitely be abused. I mean, every new feature always gets abused. Stop saying LinkedIn Learning. You can see where my brain is most of the time. My business pretty much eats, sleeps, and breathes on LinkedIn. I think that what Mike is talking about, what Hybrid Steel is talking about, is he incorporates these series playlists that are teaching in nature. Correct, Mike? Correct me if I'm wrong. And also, that definitely increases watch time. If you're wanting to build your YouTube channel, get more views, get more subs, all the fancy things that you see all the time being touted online, one of the best ways to do that is to obviously keep them on the platform. What's a really strong way to keep them on the platform is by creating a series that forces them to watch multiple videos in one session. Very, very important. So that's kind of a cool feature. I'm really curious to see how that's going to play out. So really big updates in the YouTube space. I mean, huge. These are huge updates. And it's going to be really interesting to see how that plays out. Another thing that I want to mention is, that YouTube is also going to be making it easier. They're testing what's called YouTube Giving, which is a fundraising tool that allows creators to use their voice on YouTube to support charitable causes they care about. So YouTube Giving is moving out of beta, they've announced, and will be available to tens of thousands of creators in the US in the coming months. And all creators need to do is simply select a nonprofit to create a fundraising campaign right next to their videos and live streams. And fans can directly donate on YouTube via a donate button. And I'll show you a picture of what that looks like, which is really, really cool. I want to show you. This is really interesting. I mean, I think this is super, super interesting. So I'm going to screen share right now so you guys can see that. So you can see right there that there's a little donate button, right? Right there that you can actually, and it even tells you how much has been raised. It's almost like a Kickstarter campaign or just a donation, a fundraising campaign that you can run on your live streams, giving creators more ways to be more useful. I mean, I think that's a really powerful new feature right there. So that's another thing that's moving out of beta. It's going to be coming to channels all across, the land. So this is cool. Make sure you keep your eye out on that. So Midnight Madness said, the additions to YouTube sound good, but what I think I should probably focus on is learning how to earn sponsorships. Well, all the stuff that we're talking about, Charlie Dog, definitely that's a great way to look at it. I think, all the things that we talk about on this channel, by really creating brain-busting content that provides nothing but absolute help, information, inspiration, education to your audience, builds your influence. The more influence that you have by creating brain-busting content, the more leverage you have when you go into sponsorship negotiations. So all this stuff really relates to that. And I agree, Charlie. I think that's absolutely a huge thing, especially for your racing channel. I would definitely agree with that. That's a huge bonus for you. So lots of big stuff happening in the YouTube space. And just to kind of cover it one more time, these announcements, super chats are going to be incorporating super stickers. You're going to be getting more ways to monetize your live streams or your premieres. Doesn't have to be a live stream. You've got super badges and unique avatars and unique stickers that you can buy as a member. The tier system is going to be rolling out more widespread. And then also you've got new merch partners that you can partner with to get more ways to monetize your channel, and just a whole lot more. So if you want to review everything that we talked about, just watch from the beginning of this segment of the stream, and you're going to get all that good stuff. I want to move on now, but let me know in the comments, especially if you're watching this in the replay or listening to this in the podcast, let me know what your thoughts are on these changes and how and if and when you're going to implement any of this stuff, because I would love to know, because I want to learn from you. I want to get inspired by you as much as you're being inspired by this show and this channel. So let me know in the comments down below. Midnight Madness says, Charlie Dog says, brain-busting content. You mean my helmet smacks the roll bar after a jump? Something like that, yes. Don't go too far with that. Don't go too literal, okay, Charlie Dog? Don't go too literal, for crying out loud. Please, no. Don't go to a Japanese forest. Don't do everything you can to get views and subscribers within means of, just down to earth, practical, hard work tools. Okay, don't get crazy. Don't take it too literal. All right. So yeah, definitely. Last but not least, we talked a lot about Instagram. We talked a lot about the huge updates, which really what prompted this segment in this live stream today was the big YouTube updates that are coming out. I want to talk about some interesting leaks in the Mac world. How many people are Mac people? I'm a Mac person. Maybe not by choice. My wife kind of forced me into it 10 years ago, but it's here. I'm here to stay. It's really hard to get out of it. The iPhone 11. They just leaked some pictures, and some really big tech channels like Marquez Brownlee, MKBHD, Unbox Therapy, a lot of big tech channels talked about this. And no, I know you're joking, Midnight. And when I first saw pictures, I was like, ew, what's that? But it seems to be that there's a lot of rumors going around. There's pictures, and I'm going to show you a picture in just about 2 seconds of a huge, new makeover to the iPhone 11 that is potentially going to be released, as it usually is every September, a new iPhone. But this is not a 10XS or a 10S or an XS or whatever. This is a whole new iteration. The iPhone 11 coming out in September, which seems to be 100% focused on the camera. Not much of a design difference or a utilization difference or a system difference, but the camera, which is going to be a huge part of this new iPhone 11. And I'm going to show you what this looks like. If you have not seen this, this is, and usually when they have leaks like this, they don't release it unless they're pretty sure this is what it's going to look like. And I think it's pretty much $3,000 probably, right? I'm going to show you really fast what this looks like. And so if you can see the screen right now, it's a funky square back-facing camera plate there where it looks like they're going to have 3 cameras, and the quality of the cameras are going to be a huge focal point for this brand new iPhone 11. And we know that... we also know that, more and more, and our great colleague, D. Nimmin, his whole channel focuses on this. More and more people are creating content. More and more people are creating content on their mobile devices. And so, Apple is basically following suit, and they want to create... I know it doesn't look good to me. I agree with Mike. It really doesn't look good to me. It looks almost like a toy. It just, and I don't know. I mean, as much as I am kind of stuck in this ecosystem, maybe this could be the turning point for me. I don't know. Like, I'm not sure. Maybe this could be the turning point for me to get out of this. Finally, once and for all, say goodbye to Apple, because it does seem to me, and I know a lot of respected colleagues of mine have said the same thing. It does seem to me that Apple has really just gone for the cash cow. It's just the cash grab. The cash grab. It seems like everything that they've released in the past 24 months has been all about getting more cash. It seems like ever since Steve Jobs died, this company has just been all about money, money, money. And maybe this is the reason why a lot of the original members of that team in 2007, right before the launch of the very first iPhone, has left. I mean, the really, really big news is this designer from Apple, the huge, this guy designed most of the iPhones, most of the devices, most of the products that have made this company billions, has left and started his own firm, his own design firm. So it seems to me that ever since Steve Jobs has died, the innovation at Apple has come to a screeching halt. I mean, that new desktop, that new, what was it, like the $10,000 Mac desktop that, was they call it the cheese grater, which I don't even think we did a show about that because I was just so, I was just so kind of dismayed by what Apple's been doing. The stand for the monitor itself, just the stand, I mean, the little stand for the monitor costs $1,000. If that's not a sign that Apple is all about the cash grab, I don't know what is. Their innovation has completely gone out the window. The 10X, there's nothing great about the iPhone 10. I still have the 8 Plus, and I'm happy with it. Now, my biggest thing for having a device, a strong smart device or smart mobile phone, is because I do create a lot of content on the go. I do monitor my entire business. It's basically like a mini laptop on my phone. All my communication. It's our life control. It's our life remote control. There's no doubt about it. Where is the innovation? Where are the ideas? Where is the breakthrough kind of device that Apple should be? In all my concerted effort, I think Apple should be at the forefront. Excuse me. Apple should be at the forefront of these technological innovations, and they just aren't. They just aren't. It's really, really sad. So, I agree with a lot of the comments here. It just seems like Charlie says, looks like the eyes from a monster on Legend of Zelda. Yeah, it does. That's pretty good. Hybrid says, ever since Steve Jobs died, Apple ran out of ideas. Gauging Gadget says, I film many of my videos with my Pixel. Yeah, that's a good product. I've heard a lot. I have some friends who have the Pixel, and they're very happy with it. So, it's going to be interesting. Unless this camera or unless this device has some mind-blowing features, I don't know. Maybe this could be the turning point for Nez, for yours truly. maybe this could be the moment that I say bye-bye Mac forever, because I agree with most of the comments, and I'd love to hear from you, especially if you're watching this in the replay. Let me know in the comments down below, what are your thoughts on this new iPhone 11 leak? It's probably going to look the same, if not maybe exactly the same, maybe with some slight variation. Is Apple running out of ideas? Is my prediction that Apple is just this huge cash grab company now? They're just looking to milk every cent out of you with their new products. Is that does that ring true with you, or does it not? Or is Apple being innovative? Maybe I don't know something. Maybe you know something about Apple and I don't. I would love to hear your thoughts. I would love to hear your comments down below. So this concludes another episode of Social Media and Tech News. I want to thank everybody who was here live: Gauging Gadgets, Hybrid, Patty Broussard, Midnight Madness, a.k.a. Chaladog, Lenny from Sarasota, Brad Friedman, Super Dave. I want to thank, and so many more that I'm probably forgetting or I'm overlooking. I apologize. I can't get to everybody, but I want to say thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for being here. As I said, before I go, I'm going to give you another overlay. Every single Sunday at 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern, we go live in 5 places for the most part. My Twitch channel, Periscope, Facebook business page, Facebook group, and YouTube.com. We're going live. We're bringing more humanness to this digitalness. I am Professor Nez, your personal branding coach, helping you to elevate your career and grow your business by creating a compelling message and brand in the online space, specifically in the online space. Being a business owner and being in the private and public sector over the last 28 years, I've been able to meld my experience. And then at the core of this channel is mindset, and where it all starts, where all your success starts. And so I'm really, really happy to have you guys with us, and I hope you'll join us every single Sunday. If you're interested in more videos about mindset, about building your brand, building your reputation, getting, some kind of a business going, some kind of online presence going, check out all the playlists, check out all the videos. We've got over 250 uploads on my YouTube channel, or go to professornez.com/live streams. You'll find all of them there. We have a podcast. I would love for you to subscribe to our podcast. It's the Nez Nation Live Personal Branding 101 podcast. Just search for that and you'll find it on all your favorite listening devices, all your favorite listening platforms: Spotify, Google Podcast, Anchor, iTunes. We're everywhere. Stitcher. We're everywhere. You can find us there. And I'm very, very, very excited to have you guys with us. So make sure that you come hang out with us. Make sure that you come every single Sunday. I want to hear from you. I want to see you. I want you to be here with us. Gauging Gadgets, weren't they banned here? The Huawei, yeah, I think the Huawei is banned in the U.S. Yes, there was some problems between the administration and the Huawei company, and I think those devices are banned, or they are soon to be banned. I'm not sure. But as always, I really, really want to say thank you again. I love you guys so much. I love you guys to come hang out with us. If you have any final thoughts or any final comments on any of the things that we've talked about today, leave them in the comments down below. I want to hear from you, and I'll come back and respond. I'm so glad to have you as well. I'm so glad to have you, Gauging Gadgets, and hopefully you joined our Nez Court as well. I want to see you more every single week, and leave your comments, smash that smash button before you go, and we will see you guys next time. Thank you so much, everybody. We'll see you next week.